Hey, so I wanted to jump on and just have a little bit of a chat about life and about how like our emotions can be so crazy sometimes and our thoughts can be so up and down sometimes. I actually just recorded a light language transmission video, which I'll also be uploading. And that was focusing on bringing through the energies of freedom and expansion to allow us to experience more joy and more excitement about life. And the reason I actually recorded that video was because I went on a walk. I went on a walk just around the area next to the ocean, a really beautiful walk. But I was on this walk because I was feeling really negative. Like I was having all these thoughts, these emotions, and I was like, oh, like feeling so bad. And I was like, oh, like what am I going to do? Like feeling like this problem that I had was like unsolvable, basically, was how I was feeling. And I was like, oh, what am I going to do? Okay, I'm going to go for a walk. And so I went for a walk and I listened to a Joe Dispenza meditation. If you have never listened to his meditations, they're so amazing. I really, really love them. I had them recommended to me like a month ago and I've just been listening to them like a lot. And they're really helpful to me. So yeah, and so I was on this walk and I've sort of noticed this, so I sort of intentionally do it now. But like whenever I go on a walk and I'm sort of either out in nature, like in the trees, I love being around trees, but especially somehow being next to the ocean and just walking along the ocean, and it's so open and expanded and you can just feel the ocean breeze like just blowing onto you, and it's so beautiful and you just feel literally free. Like that's just how I feel when I walk like next to the ocean. It's so amazing. And if I'm ever sort of in that sort of state of feeling that way, I will kind of like, now I will purposely do it. I'll purposely like go for a walk and be like, okay, like how can I open myself up to possibilities again and open myself up to feeling good again? I just wanted to mention that because sometimes like I notice this with myself all the time and with other people that I know as well. Like when you have a certain problem or like some sort of issue that you're struggling with and you can't mentally sort of figure your way out of it, it's like you just get stuck in that mentality, and then it brings an emotional reaction and you're sort of afraid that you're never going to solve this problem. But it's like sometimes you need to just like get out of your head and like go for a walk, or like even listen to music, or like do something that actually like helps you feel good. Because like once I sort of was on this walk, I was like, what am I so worried about? Like I know there's some sort of an issue happening, but like it's not like a fixed thing that cannot change. Like there's so many like possibilities and different like opportunities that can come up. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's not just like, you know. And so anyways, and then I was walking and I was like, you know, I'm pretty good right now. Like right now I'm pretty good. Like I'm here, I'm walking, I'm out in nature. Like I'm looking up at the trees and I'm looking out at the ocean and I can hear the birds singing, and it's just like a really nice time. Like, and it helped that it was such a beautiful day as well. And everyone was out like enjoying the sunshine. Like it was a very, very nice day today. But yeah, so I just wanted to talk about that and just sort of share my experience of like how I left the house feeling so constrained and so limited, and I came back like an hour later feeling literally so free, expanded, excited, joyful, literally, and like really excited to like make a YouTube video. And like before I left, there was no way in hell I was even like thinking about doing that. I was just like, oh, I'm thinking about my problems and like that's all that matters. Like, so it's just very interesting to me that something just so easy as going for a walk can like literally shift you like out of your mindset. Like it's so crazy to me. And also I've been doing a lot of like breath work lately, and I do that sometimes as well. If I'm sort of feeling like having like a moment of feeling overwhelmed or something, I will like sit down and do my breath work. And that's really helpful too. It's just sort of like interrupting the like thought patterns that are sort of like limiting you. And it's just really interesting to me. And like, what's something else you can, and like even like guided meditations, like the Joe Dispenza meditations that I mentioned, like even doing something like that, because like they're like certain meditations are so like high vibrational, and like when they have like high vibrational music in the background and the person speaking is sort of like bringing you into high states of consciousness just by the way they're speaking and by the way that they're like bringing concepts to you. Like Joe Dispenza, I'm like obsessed with him right now. But yes, it's just so amazing. Like it's so amazing. Like you can be down here and then 5 minutes later you're up here just because you've sort of chosen to take a different path and sort of like do something to benefit you and do something to like make yourself feel better. It's just crazy to me. And I'm all for also, like, if you are genuinely like, I do sort of take time for myself to just chill. Like if I'm feeling really bad and I'm like, no, I can't like go for a walk right now. Like I just want to sit in my room and just like feel the emotion. Like I actually feel like it's really important to also just feel the emotion. Like that is like a really important thing too, because you don't want to be like, every time an emotion comes up, you just avoid it straight away. Like that's can be detrimental as well in a different way. Like there's a balance between like, on one extreme, like dwelling on your emotions and like overthinking it and like getting super caught up in it. And on the other extreme, like completely ignoring your emotions and like never feeling them to the point where like you're trying to be positive all the time. But then there's this underlying feeling of like not being totally fulfilled because there's all these emotions that you've just totally ignored. Anyways, I've literally sort of felt both these. I've kind of gone from here to here and now I'm sort of here. I'm like in the middle now. Or I'm like learning to bring myself into the middle and be like more balanced in the center. And it's a much better place to be. And so I sort of allow myself time to like feel the emotion or like meditate on the emotion. I was doing a learning of Vipassana meditation recently, and like the main thing they teach you in Vipassana is to sit with the emotion and just let it arise and not sort of like you feel it. The saying is feel everything, react to nothing. So you just feel everything fully, like as much as you can possibly just like release and allow yourself to fully feel the emotion, and without sort of like mentally attaching something to it or sort of going into like, oh, I'm feeling this emotion and like this happened, and then going into the story of it. So it's sort of like a balance of like allowing yourself to feel and experience everything that you're sort of naturally experiencing, but then like not sort of allowing yourself to go so far as to like pull yourself into it and take it like so seriously that it like pulls you down further. So it's sort of about like, it's basically about like becoming neutral to everything that's happening around you. That was like what we learned in Vipassana, and I really, 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 really love that, and I've been working on it. And it can be hard sometimes, like it can be really hard because your emotions are so strong, and it's like you're like, whoa, like I'm feeling this like strong emotion, and it's hard to sort of realize like, oh, I can be neutral towards it. Like even if it's like, you know, you're feeling really angry or really sad, like you can still be neutral and be sort of like observing it and be like, oh, okay, I'm feeling really sad. I'm feeling really, really sad. Okay, so that feeling is there, and then just sort of observing the feeling. Like you don't even have to say like, I'm sad. You can just be like, oh, there's an emotion there. Oh, there's something there. Oh, I'm feeling this. And then just sort of feel it. And then it's really crazy because like when you like learn to do it properly, which I'm still honestly like still learning to do it properly. But like I've had moments where I have been able to like get through to this place where I'm like, whoa, like it just sort of like, whatever you're feeling just sort of like dissolves. And you're like, whoa. I was like super attached to that feeling. And then when I just sat with it and just allowed it to be there and didn't sort of attach mental stories to it, it sort of just dissolved. And like I felt like my shoulders sort of like relax at times. And like if I'm meditating, it's so crazy to me. Like just how sort of like easily we can just sort of shift in between different sort of states. Now I'm just rambling. But yeah, my point of this whole video, which just turned into like a little bit of a rant and me just sort of like, I feel like I'm talking really, really fast as well. I have a Gemini moon, so sometimes like when I get on like a rant and I'm like really excited about talking about something, I just talk, but like really, really fast. Anyways, that's kind of what my brain does, which I'm learning to like relax my brain a little bit, but then sometimes it comes through when I'm talking if I'm excited about something. Anyways, so my point was just a reminder that sometimes just going for a walk is all you need to sort of clear your head and sort of get out of that space that you're in. And also though, like sometimes just sitting with the emotion and being neutral towards the emotion can also be it. So you just have to find a balance and I sort of have all these different tools now that I sort of use at different times. Like I'll be like, oh, okay. And I'll sort of feel into it intuitively. Like, what do I need right now? Do I need to sit with the emotion and allow it to be there? Like, am I trying to avoid this emotion? And should I just allow myself to feel it? So it's more like if you're trying to avoid something, it's probably more beneficial to meditate on it and allow yourself to feel it. This is my personal experience anyway. So for me, so whatever is right for you is right for you. But for me, it's like if I'm trying to avoid something, I'll be like, oh, I'm trying to avoid it. Okay, instead, I'm going to sit with it. Whereas if I'm like, oh, I'm dwelling on this and I'm like overthinking this, and it's like, okay, maybe I should like interrupt that pattern that's going on and go do something else. Like even if it's like, watch something that you find really funny. If that's like, if that's something that gets you out of like dwelling on whatever you're dwelling on, or maybe it's like meditating or breathing or going for a walk like I did today. So yes, that was just my point of this video. It's a bit of a random like rant video. I'm just sort of talking. I don't even know if like this makes any, I mean, it makes sense, but I don't know if like the series of like what I spoke about really like had a sequence or if I just rambled. But anyways, I just felt like talking, so I was like, I'll just jump on and talk. So maybe you can relate to this though, because I feel like, honestly, I feel like pretty much everyone can relate to this. I don't feel like I'm talking about anything that's that crazy. I feel like I'm just talking about like pretty much just what humans go through, because we're such like emotional beings and we're so like, our brains are so complicated, but then it's like we overcomplicate it for ourselves. Anyways, you can also check out my other light language video that I recorded and I'm going to post. I just recorded it as well, so I'll be in the same little outfit. Thanks for watching. If you watched this far into my weird rant about basically just my day, I guess, and just my life. But yes, anyways, hopefully you can relate to something that I said. You probably can because you're human, and I feel like I'm just talking about things that all humans go through. So yes, thank you for watching. Bye. But anyways, I'm not gonna put that in. Anyways, so my point was just, I don't remember what my point was. Anyways.